In this video, I'm going to talk through the 4 numbers you need to track in your business that will help you make more money, but most importantly, the key to making more money, minimizing stress. So a few weeks ago, I was talking to a mentor of mine. I paid him $3,500 for an hour of his time, right? It's an absolute banger call. And this is a guy who previously was in an industry where he was in real estate and his company was doing $1 billion a year in real estate sales. Now he's in the coaching space. He's making stacks of money. But he told me a couple of things that were really powerful that then led me to want to share this with you. And he said, Dan, my goal over the next few decades is to get to a point where my business is doing $1 million a week. And I was like, okay, I'm listening. And what he said there's 2 things that I'm unwilling to compromise on to get there. The first thing is, given kind of my lifestyle, he's got kids, he's married. He said, I am unwilling to work more than 20 hours a week, and I'm unwilling to let any stress into my life at any level. And I thought that was fascinating because as business owners, we learn to tolerate stress, and not only tolerate it, we oftentimes seek it out. Like I find it hilarious that, and I'm not knocking this, but I find it hilarious that people can have a already hard life, right? Where business is stressful and life is stressful. And then they go, you know what's missing? I need to go 75 days doing 2 workouts a day with no alcohol, no coffee, no sugar. I'm going to read 10 pages. I'm going to drink a gallon, whatever it might be. And they turn the difficulty up. And one of the things that we become accustomed to as entrepreneurs is living in a state of stress. Sometimes if things are easy, it actually feels uneasy, right? It's like things shouldn't be this good. But the point I'm trying to make is that oftentimes we become so accustomed to stress, we don't know what it's like to scale without it. But there's 4 things that I've realized, or 4 numbers that if you learn to track, business actually gets easier. And one of the things I've realized is when it comes to scaling a kind of value creator type business, whether you're a coach or a consultant, online marketing of any kind, it takes so much creativity to do that. You need to create great marketing. You need to be able to create content for clients. But one of the things that is at odds with creativity is stress. It is impossible to be at your fullest creative potential if you're constantly living out of a state of stress. So without further ado, let me get into the 4 numbers that will minimize the stress in your life so that you can maximize the creativity of both the things you create and the money you create as a byproduct, okay? So there are 4 numbers that you need to track in order to create this type of business and life, and chances are you're probably not tracking all 4 of them. Number 1, this should be a no-brainer, is profit. One of the things that I stopped doing a good while ago is I actually don't care about revenue. Now, I look at it every now and then. I get sent numbers from my virtual assistant daily that I'll share more about in a moment. So I know where the business is at any given month, but I've stopped setting purely like revenue-driven goals, right? There's a saying, revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. And then there's a whole bunch of people in the internet marketing space that don't even track revenue, they just track sales. So they sell like 5 clients on 12-month commitments. They're like, I did $100K this month. I'm like, brother, you collected $10,000, right? Let's keep it real. But when you track profit as a key metric in your business gets way better because now the decisions you're making are not just about will my revenue go up, but will my profit go up? Now, of course, there are seasons and stages of business where maybe you're ignoring profit, but for most of us, we're actually building a business to maximize our lifestyle and our freedom from it, not just build something to like sell one day, right? That's not most of us. So it means that all the way through, you should be maximizing profit, focusing on profit. And so this is one of the key things that I track in my business. And I'm always looking at month to date, how is my profit doing? And then instead of setting weird revenue goals that make no sense, like I'll talk to people all the time and they're like, oh, I'm at $10,000 a month. I'm like, great, what's your 6-month goal? And what do you think their goal is? 100K a month, right? like clockwork. It's like, I just want to get to 100K a month, or they're just throwing out arbitrary numbers. Rather than doing that, you actually figure out the lifestyle that you want, which will be more in the 4th number that I'll share. And then you figure out how your profit will affect that and enable that. So number 1, you want to be tracking profit as the most important number in your business. Number 2, something that minimizes stress, maximizes consistency and sustainability in your business is recurring revenue, monthly recurring revenue. So this is a number that I treat like holy. I am always trying to grow this number. I'm always watching it. And I think this is a big key to why I've been able to sustain this 7-figure level with so many different changes to business model, with reduction in work hours, with reduction in team, because I've had a huge emphasis on recurring revenue. Like my business has averaged out at above, and some months much more above, $100,000 a month for almost 4 years. But it's because every month I'm not starting it at zero. I have so much recurring revenue, I'm already in profit even before I sign another client. So just like when you focus on profit, it creates a filter for you. It's no longer just about driving the revenue numbers arbitrarily. You're actually trying to optimize for profit. When you think about your business, not just being and getting new clients and more cash collected today, but stacking recurring revenue, you get a whole new level of predictability and confidence in the business you have. You don't have to go out and sell 10 clients every single month just to pay the bills. You can build a business that's consistent, predictable, and successful because it has a foundation of customers that continue to pay you over and over again. I don't have time to go into this now. Every value creator, every coach or consultant should have a core offer that is recurring revenue in nature. That's number 2. Number 3, this is simple but important, is cash in the bank. So I'll never forget listening to Hormozi talk about this powerful habit that he had when he was growing his net worth. He said every single morning, the first thing he would do is he would open his bank account. Now, I don't do exactly the same thing, but what I started to do was have my virtual assistant send me key numbers every morning, and one of those things was cash in the bank. How much money do I actually have in the bank, and how much profit am I making per month, and so on and so forth. The cash in the bank metric actually changes the way that you think and the level of confidence through which you market, sell, deliver, and overall lead in your market. When you have low cash in the bank, you're creating hustle energy. Getting clients is coming from a place of scarcity. You don't have enough, so you're desperately trying to get enough so you can confidently pay the bills and sleep at night. When you start stacking cash, and especially, and I know this might be far-fetched for some of you, but especially when you get beyond 6 figures in your bank account, life gets different. All of a sudden, you can think on a longer time horizon and you can really start to make bigger moves in your business. And so for some of you, you're actually stuck on this hamster wheel, not because your business sucks or the strategy is wrong, but because you keep either spending too much money in the business that it's not accumulating in your account, or you're pulling so much money out of the account to inflate your lifestyle to where you're still poor on paper. And so the third number that you want to be tracking to minimize the stress, to maximize your creative output and maximize the enjoyment and the financial returns of your business is cash in the bank. And then number 4, and I've really never heard anyone talk about this in the online space, is a concept from Tim Ferriss's book, The 4-Hour Workweek. In this book, he talks about one of the most important numbers to figure out is his TMI, target monthly income. So here's what drives me crazy about the online space. We make up goals that have no meaning whatsoever. So think about how hard it is to grow a business, right? If you're going from 10K a month to 50K a month, let's say, right? There are so many challenges you have to overcome to get there. You have to become a new version of yourself. You've got to hire people, fire people. Like there's so many challenges. And you're doing it because you believe this idea of 50K a month is worth it. But here's the problem for most people. 50K a month, 70K a month, 100K a month is just a meaningless number. It's a number that they borrowed from someone else, right? We saw Russell Brunson was giving away awards to hit $1 million and we're like, oh, I'm going to do that. Rather than actually reverse engineering the things we want in our life and then going, what size business do I need to be able to hit that? So one of the most powerful numbers to figure out is to create a vision of your ideal life. Where do you live? What do you want to do? What do you drive? All of those things. Now, there might be different iterations of that because I'm telling you right now, in 10 years, my ideal life is no more public planes, baby. I'm private all the way. Drive up, no security, no shoes off, get in, fly away. Amazing. That's not on my 6-month plan. So you might break this down and you might say, okay, in 6 months or 12 months, what's my target monthly income? Yes, 10 years from now, I want to be doing this. But 1 year from now, where do I want to be? And if you actually write it all out, that will come to a real number, right? Not a made up number. You might say, I want to be saving $2,000 a month or investing $10,000 a month. Whatever it is, you write it all out. Now, here's the key. It sounds so simple, but most people don't do it. Tie your business's goals to your target monthly income goals. Eventually, You might go beyond that and say, it's not my target monthly income. I want to buy a house. But the point is, you're setting goals based on numbers that mean something to you. So what if this fictitious number that you made up around $60,000 a month actually means nothing to you, but if you did the math and you realize that your ideal life happens at $40,000 a month, all of a sudden you're going to be way more motivated to get to $40,000 a month, even though it's a lesser number than 60, because it means something to you. And this is one of the biggest mistakes I see people make, is they just make up numbers, they borrow other people's goals, and then wonder why they don't hit them. If you don't figure out this fourth number of target monthly income and then build that into your business goals, you will stay stuck and struggling and not know why. It's because you don't have the motivation to push through the resistance to actually get there. So quick recap. 4 numbers that if you track these and watch these like a hawk, stress decreases, creativity, confidence increases, okay? Number 1 is tracking profit. I track profit over revenue. Revenue is vanity, profit is sanity. Number 2, recurring revenue. It's not just about how many clients I can get, it's about how many clients I can keep and how much recurring revenue that represents in my business. The more recurring revenue I have, the easier I sleep at night, the longer term I can think, the better decisions I make. And then number 3 is cash in bank. You always want to balance your desire to invest in your business, invest into, or when I say invest, spend money, right? Buy cool new stuff, with the balance of actually having money that gives you peace of mind. You want to optimize for it to where you're not ever having to market and sell out of scarcity, but you're always creating a great buffer. And then number 4, don't set arbitrary money goals. Set goals that mean something to you. Do the math, figure out your target monthly income, and then reverse engineer how big your business has to get and what the profits have to be in order for you to get to that target monthly income. In other words, your ideal lifestyle. So if you have any questions on this, leave them below. If there was any one particular thing that stood out to you, I would love to know what that might be. I hope this video was helpful, and I'll see you in another video.